How are you today?
Wonderful, wonderful, Cam.
Amazing. So you're putting a great event on at Ashton Tire Service in St. Mary's. It's so great you can be there. What can everyone expect from the event?
Well, obviously, we, on behalf of Firestone, we'll be doing some promotion for Ashton Tire, and I'm looking forward to that. Every time that we have such events at any of the venues, it's always been very popular. We get great attendance, and like I always say, we try to make some noise and let people know just how good and how valuable Ashton Tire is to the community.
Absolutely, and it's a big year from Firestone as well. I know Alexander Rossi came across the finish line of the Indy on some Firestones. What else is in the works for Firestone this year?
Well, they're always at the front, always the avant-garde. Obviously, they're the tire of choice, for IndyCar, and they've been for many, many years. And they're probably, quite honestly, from my standpoint, as far as performance and safety, the best brand you could possibly have.
If I did my research correctly, you've had that relationship for over 40 years. Is that correct?
Indeed. Actually, I started not only as a series driver, but also part of the development tire, back in the mid-'60s with Firestone, and I raced for them, with Firestone tires, with many of the disciplines over the decades, and had a fabulous relationship then, and continue to do that now. And of course, I have family that in the sport that they're winning races on Firestone.
Absolutely. I want to speak about that relationship for a bit, because today it seems like things are so fleeting. It's all about the 15 seconds of fame. How do you maintain a relationship like that with Firestone for so many years? It's incredible.
Well, it's believing in the product, and appreciating what you have there, and having something tangible to show for. So again, it's one of the situations where you could call it win-win situation, and it can't be any better than that.
Well, speaking of a win-win, you've had some success outside of the racetrack as well. Lots of other business ventures. How does that success you had on the racetrack, how does that carry over? How do you translate that to all your other ventures?
Well, obviously, I think it's the same formula you try to use. Surround yourself with the best people possible, and the true experts in whatever endeavor you're in. And that's really what we've used. As far as a petroleum company, or whether it's our winery, and some of the other ventures that we're involved in.
As a race car driver, what's it like separating? It might sound ridiculous, but when you drive on the track compared to just your everyday driving, do you ever get the itch to just get down on the gas pedal?
Well, you get that urge, but you better keep that in check.
Absolutely.
No, it's not the same thing.
So I was doing some research before. Are you still doing the Mario Andretti experience?
Yes.
Can you fill me in on that?
Operating, and but also I do quite a bit of driving myself with a two-seater car, giving some interested fans the first-hand experience in a race car, and I'm enjoying that very much as well.
That's incredible. Racing still hasn't, I don't want to say it hasn't taken off in this country, but it's not as big as it is elsewhere around the world. What do you think Canada, it might be you too broad of a question, but what do you think Canada needs to do to continue to promote driving in this country? Because it's so important. It's such an incredible sport.
Cam, I disagree with you about Canada. Canada is fertile ground for motor racing. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
I mean, they, as far as the talents that come out of Canada, the current talents that we have, James Hinchcliffe being just one of them, and the fact that you had some of the major events over the years. I've raced in Canada myself since the first time since 1963.
Wow.
And raced Can-Am, I raced Indy cars, I raced Formula One. Now, Canada is obviously it's a fertile ground for our sport, and it's and evidence of that is the popularity that we see even just by visiting how many people, how many fans do come out and see us. So yeah.
I guess I'm being a little bit greedy. I just want a little more racing, you know?
Well, we always do. Obviously, if we enjoy the sport, we never get enough. But yeah, Canada is one of the good places on this planet that supports motor racing for sure.
Amazing. Speaking of, you brought up James Hinchcliffe there for a second. I know that he had his horrific crash last year, and he's bounced back incredibly. What mental state do you have to be in to get back in a car like that after a crash?
Well, positive.
Right.
Very positive mental state, and loving what you do. It's he was a passenger on something that certainly was not his mistake. It was equipment failure that caused James' accident at Indy, and he almost lost his life on that one. But he came back unbelievably, and everybody loves him for that as well. But more than anything, like I said, he's shown his pure passion and love for the sport, and he's back as strong as ever.
Yeah, it's incredible, his comeback, and I think all of Canada is behind him. What do you do these days with being out of racing? I know your other business ventures. What are you most focused on right now?
Well, primarily, I follow the sport. I'm part of it. Again, as I said before, we have a lot of skin in the game, with my son fielding, 4 cars at every race and 5 at Indy and having success there. So, that's primarily the sport is what keeps me, most excited and busiest, quite honestly.
Yep.
And, that's all part of what I do. And with Honda's program, with the 2-seater car where I start pretty much every IndyCar race is also what keeps me going to the events as well, because I'm part of it. So, I'm plenty busy, believe me.
I believe you. I think it's incredible that you've. I think most people would just be jealous or envious of how well you've maintained your career. It's incredibly impressive. I just want to thank you for the interview, and we're all looking forward to the event. It's in St. Mary's at Ashton Tire and representing Firestone. It's incredible the relationship you built with that company. I think we could all learn something from it.
Well, hope to see you there.